friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time, and it's time for another garden update. And to be honest, I almost wasn't going to do this video this week because the weather has been so cold that many things have pretty much just come to a stop and haven't grown. And I feel like, oh, I don't have anything to even show as an update because it all looks the same as last week. Well, that's not entirely true. Some things are really coming along. There are some things that grow no matter what the weather seems to want to do. So let's get to it and I'll show you what's happening here. Okay, so I just got done harvesting the stinging nettle, and what's been really great about allowing the chickens out here out front to do this is they've been pretty much leaving the fresh, the new stinging nettle coming in alone, but kind of making little paths in there to get to the bugs and stuff, which has given me the opportunity to get in and start digging out some of the creeping buttercup that is coming up amongst there, and it's really starting to take over. You can see the darker green, that's the creeping buttercup, and the lighter green is the stinging nettle and also the morning glory. And so they've been really helpful in that. Yeah, they are tearing up a few things, but for the most part they're doing more good than bad, and I'm really happy with that. So this right here is one of my feverfews that I purposely planted here. And yes, I still have to come out here and kind of push dirt around things. This is a lilac. I'm hoping it's a purple one that I got from a friend, and it's really taken off. It was just a tiny little thing when I got it last year, and it's just taking off. Got some elephant garlic. The potatoes are doing pretty good. You can see we just mowed the yard for the first time for the season, and we had plenty of grass to throw on top of them. So that's what I do. I just throw the grass right on top of them. Some of them we covered completely up, but they'll pop through that grass. I don't worry about it. And some are coming out from underneath the other side of the baskets. But the chickens are pretty much leaving the potatoes alone, and so that's good. They're going after the bugs and everything. Now the bad news is they've all figured out that they can get through that fence now. And and those potatoes over there, those are just some coming up from last year, so that's cool. So I have to keep a close eye on them, so I kind of limit their time out here. And what I do is, if I know I'm going to be doing a lot of sewing, my sewing room is right there. You can see my sewing machine, so I can sit right there and I can look straight out here and watch these chickens. And when they start doing this stuff, I see them start squeezing through the fence, then I come out and throw them back over, and if they get too obnoxious, well, they go back to the backyard. So the rhubarb's coming along nicely. There's one and two, and of course the chickens are leaving this alone because rhubarb leaves are toxic, and that's one thing that's been so great about chickens is they know, they pretty much know what not to eat. And then this is my front herb bed. Peppermint's looking good. I've been harvesting and dehydrating some. Oregano, the sage is starting to fill back in again, and you can see where the chickens get out periodically and start digging around here. Rhododendrons are starting to bloom, and then right here around this peach tree you can see my comfrey is doing very good. Comfrey is really good for fruit trees, so I've been planting it at the base. I planted at the base of that one, but I also planted some at the base of the plum. I've decided on the two trees out here, well, it'll be three, but those two out there for certain, I'm going to plant the bee balm and the milkweed around. Okay, well, I decided to do the herb gardens on the front and west sides of the house first. You can see, look at this marshmallow, how much it's coming along. So this is taken off. So these ones here are actually bigger than the ones out back in the main garden. And so, and yes, I still have not come out here and pulled them. I do it in spurts. I'll come out and pull them. I find it easier just to wait till they get to a certain size and then pull them up, because I know I have other things planted in here that I don't want to dig up. So I'm just kind of waiting for things to get to a certain size before I pull them up. It's just a little bit better that way. But yeah, anyway, the marshmallow is doing really great. And are my dandelions. Now I want to comment on dandelions. So some people think it's terrible, you got to get the dandelions out of your garden. Nope, I always leave them unless they're in a spot where I need something else to grow. I always leave the dandelions because not only are these food, And not only are they medicinal, but they're really great for the garden in several ways. You've got the beautiful yellow flowers that the bees just love. It's the first things the bees have when they start coming out. And so this is going to draw the bees to your garden. And the long tap roots of the dandelion feed nutrients to the surrounding plants. And apparently I am still going to have some strawberry plants. I thought I got rid of them all, but because I'm not really crazy about the particular strawberries I got several years ago. And eventually I want to get something different. But anyway, if nothing else, we'll see. This one's looking like it's coming in fairly healthy. So I have found, by the way, that I got my biggest onions and biggest beets from the ones that were growing right next to the biggest dandelions, like right next to it. So the thyme is looking really good. It's really started to just take off. I mean, the leaves are looking bigger. You see a lot of that new growth in there. There's a strawberry with some flowers. This thyme doesn't look so happy, but the other ones all do. This one here, but I mean, look at this valerian, people. Look at it. I can't believe how much it has grown. It just shocked me. And yay, I have more flowers to harvest here. So I'll be out here in a little bit. I was already out picking some, but I have more to pick. So anyway, that valerian is so exciting. And as you guys know, I lost it the first year I tried to grow it. I just couldn't get anything. Actually, I don't think I lost it. It just never germinated. But then I was able to get some plants to survive, and I think now I have 3. I found another one growing in my main garden bed, which is pretty exciting. And this pansy is looking healthier all the time. The only bad thing is out here, these are still areas the chickens can't get to clean up the slugs, so I'm going to have to get out here and take care of that, because slugs love pansies. And the currants are starting to get flowers. And here's another one here. Now let me back up and show you the West Herb garden from this angle so you can see it now that we've got it mowed in the front. You can tell the grass got really long right there. But yeah, that's what happens out here when you can't mow for weeks and weeks and weeks, and everything's wanting to grow, but it doesn't want to stop raining. So we'll back up here, and here's that apple tree. You might remember the video. This is the one we had in a pot for, oh gosh, 5 years. And we finally got it in the ground. It's got some blossoms coming on. All right, so just kind of a flyby. Look at all that feverfew in the back. Good grief. And here's something I didn't think to mention last time I did a flyby was, this is orange mint right here. So orange mint is the one that seems to take over more than anything, than any of the other mints. I don't care for the flavor of it as much, but I absolutely adore the smell. This is something I would love to have in place of grass, because when you mow over it, it just makes this incredible smell. And then back there is a daylily. I'd like to get some more of those. They taste wonderful. They add some color. It's pretty young. I only just got it last year, and then I had another one out here somewhere. But it just adds color and beauty, and they taste amazing, especially in salads. So the woolly lamb's ear is looking pretty healthy. I'm hoping I get a lot of flowers this year so I can save seeds this time. The elderberries. Lemon balm, I've been harvesting off of this. I haven't harvested any oregano yet, but I can start doing that soon. I can also start harvesting the lavender leaves. I discovered this. That is a goji berry. I thought it had died. I had 8 of them, and 5 of them died. I thought they never really produced. They never did good, so I got rid of them, and then all of a sudden, here's this guy. Okay. We'll see what happens. I'll just go ahead and leave that one. Peppermint, have started harvesting on some of that too. There's another marshmallow. Another horseradish. Feverfew, the catnip. And yes, I've harvested off this, and this is just going crazy. It's a mint, so it'll do well. Okay, I'm out in the greenhouse right now. It's been kind of noisy. All the neighbors are out in the backyard at the same time. But anyway, I've got my bee bombs really come along, my milkweed, and the echinacea over here that was started from my own seed, from my own echinacea plants. These 3 things I'm going to be planting around the fruit trees out front to add more color and to help draw the bees in and just make it look prettier out there. And stevia is looking really good. And I'm pretty sure this is not a jalapeno. It says jalapeno, but none of the jalapenos came up, but this one did. And I'm pretty sure it is the same as that, right? It looks exactly the same, which is the Chinese 5-color. So my peppers and tomatoes all pretty much look the same as last week, but the dwarf nasturtiums are really coming along. It won't be long before I'll be able to transplant them outside. I'm just really waiting for it to warm up a lot more out there. Okay, I'm going to try to do a quick overview of the main garden. So the currants back here are doing really good. Kale has been going to seed, and what I've been doing with the kale is picking off the seed heads like these and either eating them. This is actually my, or I should say flower buds is what they are, the little buds, because they're not seeds yet. And I really like eating these parts. This is my favorite part when eating raw kale. Or I throw them to the chickens because the chickens love them. So I got a rhubarb doing good. My potatoes back here are starting to come up. And I mostly wanted to focus on this side here. This is my perennial herbs. There's a feverfew, and this is the third valerian. When I first started seeing it come up, I was thinking, well, it looks like valerian, but it doesn't, because the other ones came up red. Where this was coming up, when it started growing, the leaves were much tinier and much lighter in color. But I do remember moving this here and seeing this bigger leaf coming in. It's definitely a valerian. So I have 3 healthy valerian plants, with the biggest one, of course, being out front. My spearmint is starting to grow. Always the last mint to come in. Echinacea's come along nicely. More marshmallows. These are some young marshmallows trying to come up. I've been finding them all over the place. There's just a whole bunch of them, and that's all been self-seeded. And then here's the second valerian that I saw come up, and of course still not near as big as the other one, but you can see the difference in color than the last one I showed you. And then of course, again, like I said about the dandelions, I just let them grow. They're good for the garden, and they're good stuff for me to harvest. So more kale that I need to get all the seeds. I'm eventually going to let it go to seed and then collect the seeds and save them and maybe put them up on our store. However, right now I'm trying to keep it bushed out as much as possible so I can keep getting some good greens off of there. So we'll throw these out to the chickens. One of the things I wanted to show you is this mole plant, also known as gopher plant or gopher weed. And what this does is it sends roots down that will, when the gophers and the moles are digging around, and yes, I know, I gotta get this grass out of here. Good grief, we get so few nice days this time of year. Anyway, they'll come across the roots, and it actually kills the gophers and the moles and keeps them out of your garden. And this one actually self-seeded. I had some that I had planted years ago, and ever since then I have it coming up all over. I have more around here. Shush! Guys always have to make so much noise when I'm making videos. Shush you. And then real quick along the side here, again, there's the other echinacea and another one over there. And then my mojito mint, which I'll be making a start from soon and doing a video of that for those who want to see. That right there is Anise hyssop coming back, looking very healthy. I'm so excited. I'm hoping there's another one around here somewhere, but anyway, it's one of my favorites, but it's also the slugs' favorites. And it'd been hard getting it to come back every year because the slugs would keep mowing it down. But since the chickens, speaking of chickens, since the chickens keep the slugs at bay, my Anise hyssop has been able to come back and really start growing. And I do have a few peas. Most of what you see down there is borage. I just let it do its thing, and if it gets too thick and whatever, I'll just pull it up. But for now, I just leave it. But there are a couple of peas coming up. I did plant some more. What I remembered, it wasn't the weather with the peas. It's the robins. When the peas first start coming up early in the year, the robins they'll eat the little young shoots that come out. And they'll keep doing that until there's more food available for them. So it's kind of best to plant peas later. Or put up bird netting to keep the robins out. Well, I had to finish my video out here because the neighbors are mowing their backyard. See, that's the thing, is when you live in rain country, you got to get outside and get stuff done while you have a decent day. And so everybody's outside right now, and it's kind of noisy. So anyway, I didn't get to cover everything I wanted to cover, but that's okay. The video's plenty long enough. There'll be more to come next week anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next garden update. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.